This is Brum's The Word from Anything But Footy, brought to you with Kukri Sports, the official kit provider for Team England. It's here. Happy Commonwealth Games month. There's cards in the shop, I can assure you. Later this month, Birmingham 2022 will kick off a carnival of fun, frenzy, and most importantly, world-class sport. I'm Michael.
And I'm John, and I can't believe it's come round so quickly, but after the last few years, I'm glad 2022 is really spoiling us this summer. We've got World Championships, we've got European Championships, but more importantly, as Michael said, the biggest multi-sporting event in England since London 2012. And if it's anything like that summer, well, we're in for a real treat.
First up in this episode, we're talking triathlon and para-tri.
I don't have any major championship medals or anything like that, so it is the main goal for the year. That is kind of the A race.
Missed out on London 2012, so to have another chance at home, major games, yeah, it's really exciting. Looking forward to it.
I'm here to race, I'll enjoy it. Whatever happens, happens.
As Team England confirm their full swim, bike, run team.
In our weekly news from the Games, we've got cycling, gymnastics, diving, athletics, and a well-known voice.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? That's so good.
Stay with us to find out more.
I think I recognise her. Also, keep listening for a discount on Kukri's Team England range. It's an Anything But Footy exclusive. This is Brum's The Word with Kukri Sports, a podcast from Anything But Footy.
Now, stand by. There's a theme coming up over the next few seconds in our first item. Triathlon first took its place in the Commonwealth Games in Manchester in 2002. In Glasgow 2014, the mixed team relay first happened. Now in Birmingham 2022, the first visually impaired athletes are competing in the Games. We'll hear from them in a minute. But first, you can see what I'm doing here, triathlon could also provide Team England with its first medals of the Commonwealths this summer.
The women's and men's individual finals take place in Sutton Park in Sutton Coldfield on the first morning of the Games, Friday, July the 29th. This week, triathlon has also booked, wait for it, the first Team GB sports spot for the Paris 2024 Olympics, led by Team England's Alex Yee, Georgia Taylor-Brown and Sophie Coldwell. After a medal in the mixed team relay in the recent World Series event in Montreal, where they came second behind France.
But all eyes now switch to Birmingham 2022. Michael caught up with Georgia and Sophie after their recent silver and bronze success in Leeds.
I think I'm in a good place, but yeah, there's still things to work on. Race hard, enjoy it. My first Commonwealth Games, so I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm excited to see what happens there.
But you must feel there's a couple of medals up for grabs for you.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't plan ahead like that. I just try and think, okay, I'm here to race, I'll enjoy it. Whatever happens, happens. But yeah, no, I don't plan to medal ever.
And the atmosphere you said here in Leeds has been fantastic. Are you expecting the same when we get to the West Midlands?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope lots of people will come out. I'm sure they will, because triathlon in England is huge. So yeah, hopefully lots of people will come out and support us.
And you and the other guys obviously in Tokyo have probably inspired a lot of people to watch the sport more, take an interest in the sport more. Is that important to you?
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest thing for me, is sort of inspiring the next generation and seeing that we can go out there, we can work hard, we can have fun, you make lots of friends from it. Yeah, it's just something that makes me really happy. So I hope to inspire lots of people to get active, try different things and just be brave.
And a repeat of that wall of noise that we've been hearing about and everyone shouting your name when you get to Birmingham.
Yeah, there was a lot of Georges out there today, so no, I need that again in Birmingham. I'm going to need that to get me through that tough course.
Thanks very much for your time. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Well, I thought last year it was noisy, but this year it's something else. You know, I reckon there's at least twice as many people that came out, and yeah, I didn't know so many people knew my name. So yeah, it was really nice. You know, it's obviously a home race, and yeah, it's so amazing just having that support out there.
Talking of home races, how much is Birmingham Commonwealth Games your focus this year?
Yeah, it's been my focus since I knew I qualified back in November. I don't have any major championship medals or anything like that, so that is the main goal for the year. That is kind of the A race. So yeah, all decisions back from November have been put in to kind of put me in the best possible position to try and do that. So whether it does or doesn't, I've tried everything that I have to try and deliver there.
And the achievement of just getting in that Team England, because there is such strength in depth, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean, the whole of the Olympic team was Team England. So yeah, you know, I'm proud to be English. I'm proud to make that team, and yeah, I just really hope I can deliver in July.
And what kind of atmosphere are you expecting when you get to Birmingham? Similar to the Leeds event?
Similar, but I'm sure more people will come out. You know, it's it's a major games, and it's not often you get one of those in the UK. So I'm pretty sure loads of people will come out and cheer, and yeah, just hoping I can put in a good race.
Final question then, what's the target for Birmingham? 1 medal, 2 medals?
Oh, I'd love to get 2 medals. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but no, I think I definitely have been to other, like I was at Gold Coast, and that was definitely like a stepping stone. So this is definitely about trying to deliver a medal-winning performance.
Sophie Coldwell and Georgia Taylor-Brown, as well as competing individually, they'll probably come together again for the mixed relay, like they did in that World Series in Montreal that Michael was talking about, with Alex Yee and Sam Dickinson, or Johnny Brownlee, who is back in training after dislocating his elbow in Leeds. West Midlands home girl Sian Rainsley also makes her Commonwealth Games debut as well, and the mixed relay takes place on Sunday, July 31st.
The men's and women's visually impaired Para-Tri events also take place that day. Melissa Reid and Dave Ellis have been selected for Team England, a year on from the disappointing Tokyo Paralympics for them. We'll hear from Dave and his guide Luke Pollard on their broken chain in a moment. But first up, here's Melissa.
The first time representing England in triathlon. Normally it's Great Britain, and it's going to be my first and only opportunity to represent England at the Commonwealth Games, so it's definitely a big event.
And it's only the second time that para-triathlon, I think, has been in the Commonwealth Games, and the first time for your category.
Yeah, that's correct. So at the moment, it's a different category for each Commonwealth Games. So the first year was the wheelchair athletes. This year, it's the visually impaired athletes, and we'll see what happens in 4 years' time. Interestingly,
I think Team England won the 2 gold medals 4 years ago, so a little bit of pressure?
Normally, I would say yes, but I'm still recovering from an injury. So I'm just taking it day by day and focusing on the rehab at the moment. And hopefully I'll be fighting fit come July.
Obviously, you mentioned Great Britain. You went to the Tokyo Paralympics. Didn't quite go as planned?
No, sadly, I had an injury 4 weeks beforehand, which pretty much put me out of training for that whole time. And unfortunately, the injury just carried on progressively getting worse. So I finally just had some treatment and hopefully on the upward curve now. I mean, backs are never the easiest thing to fix, are they? So, I mean, right now it's just focusing on the rehab. And if I do the rehab right, then I'll be ready for the Commonwealth Games.
Dave Ellis, Para-Triathlon PTVI category.
And I'm Luke Pollard, Dave's guide.
It was obviously really bad luck. We'd changed all the chains and everything, and then still had this issue where it managed to snap the chain, which is a bit of shame.
Yeah, I think it was a tough pill to swallow, to be honest. There was absolutely nothing we could do to even finish the race. But, you know, looking forward now, I think this is going to be a good opportunity to showcase what we can actually do.
At that moment, to make the decision that you knew you had to stop, I mean, that just must have been the heartbreak at that moment.
Yeah, I think we tried every avenue to try and, sort that issue out of the side of the road. I actually had the chain in between my teeth trying to bite the metal together at some point, but obviously that's not going to work, no matter what my dentist says. So yeah, I think having to call it was probably the hardest thing I've had to do in a sporting career. And probably,
obviously, if you get a puncture, you can change a wheel. But with a mechanical like that, we couldn't even finish the race. So, yeah, I think that's probably the only race I've not finished. And to not even put your best performance is one thing, but to not finish the race is pretty demoralising as well.
Luke, did you know that as part of the guide work that you had to be in the mechanic as well?
I've sort of taken it upon myself a little bit now and just making sure that, any issues are addressed early on. But yeah, I think if you're going to put everything, you might as well put everything into it and try and get the best out of the bike and out of us.
What does it mean for your category to be in the Commonwealth Games this time? Because it's only the second time that Para-Tri has been at the Commonwealth Games, and now the first time that the visually impaired category is there.
Yeah, I think it is showcasing how competitive the VI category is and how much it's moved on the last 8 years. And I think it'll show anyone who has got a visual impairment, you can compete at the highest level. You can get out and do triathlon.
It's a big summer for para-triathlon as well, because you've got the World Para-Triathlon in Swansea as well.
Yeah, again, as you say, moving forward, I think that event should hopefully move World Series forward too, because I think that one is set to be a really great event. It's going to be almost like a weekend of triathlon with a get involved race in the morning and then the 70.3 the next day. So it should be an awesome event, and hopefully a lot of people come out and support, and we get some good coverage out of that race.
Wishing all the luck in the world to Dave, Luke, Melissa and her guide Grace France, and the rest of the Para-Tri team for England at Birmingham 2022, which includes Katie Crowhurst and Jessica Fullergar, and Oscar Kelly and Charlie Harding, who both made their World Championships debut last year. This is Brum's The Word with Kukri Sports. Still to come, forget the voice of the balls. We hear from the voice of the venues at Birmingham 2022 as we round up more news from the Games.
2019 World Champion gymnast Jo Fraser, who we heard in our special 1 month to go episode of Brum's The Word, along with 4-time gold medalist in Glasgow, Claudia Fragapane, are amongst the Team England selected gymnasts for Birmingham 2022. Alice Kinsella, who won Olympic bronze in Tokyo last year, that historic medal, of course. Kelly Sim, who returns for her third Games, 2018 gold medalist Georgia May Fenton, and debutante Odanine Achangpong make up the women's team. Along with Fraser, James Hall and Gianni Regini Moran, who came fourth in the men's team at the Tokyo Olympics, are joined by double gold coast champion Courtney Tulloch and new boy Jake Jarman.
And now, as we said previously, we know no Max Whitlock, who's taking a break, like Tom Daly. But the defending pommel horse champion is allowed to compete in Birmingham after all. I'm talking about Rhys McClenaghan, who surprised Max back in 2018. He has been cleared now to compete for Northern Ireland again. Now, the story goes that originally he and 2 other gymnasts had been told they were not going to be allowed to take their places at the Commonwealth Games, having represented Ireland in other international competitions. Commonwealth Games Northern Ireland said in a statement, "We would like to thank all those who have supported the athletes over the last couple of weeks." And just for listening, you can get your hands on some summer savings and look the part too for Birmingham 2022. Go to the full range of official Team England merch, that's what the kids call it, at kukrisports.com, and you can save yourself 10% as well by using the code ABF2022. That is an exclusive offer on your merch just for listening to Anything But Footy.
Now, talking of listening, make sure when you're out and about at the Games, you listen out for some well-known tones.
Did you know Birmingham 2022 is the first Commonwealth Games to award more female medals than male medals? Oh, that's good, isn't it? That's so good.
There we go, the voice of the venues, as Michael declared her. Amazing that the This Morning presenter and brilliant Brummie Alison Hammond, did you get it, Michael?
I did.
Has been chosen as the voice of the venues by Birmingham 2022. By the end, frankly, we'll be sick of her. But seriously, it's a really good call and she's going to do a great job.
I remember her from Big Brother, most of all. Now, on to the rest of our news from the Games, and you get so much stuff when you're part of the Commonwealth Games. Not only official kit and bags and all of that jazz, but you also get your casual, or is it formal outfit for the opening ceremony. And Team England revealed this week that BBC TV's Great British Sewing Bee, I'm sort of a fan, designer Patrick Grant and his community clothing have put together the Swiss red and white uniform with the red workwear jacket inspired by Birmingham's industrial past.
Looking forward to that. Michael likes a good opening ceremony. Now, a record-breaking week for British divers at the World Championships in Budapest, and more medals than ever before. Team England's Jack Law won bronze in the 3-metre spring individual, and a silver with English teammate Anthony Harding in synchro, and then a third silver in the 1 metre. Olympic champion Matty Lee with his new partner Noah Williams also won silver behind the Chinese in the 10-metre synchro, and we'll hear from Jack Law later in a later edition of Brum's The Word.
While Plymouth's Ben Proud is the fastest man in water in the world after winning the 50-metre freestyle final at the Worlds in Budapest. It's his second World Championship title, 5 years on from winning the 50-metre fly title, virtually flying ahead of Birmingham. And Ben's in action on the first morning of the Games at the Sandwell Aquatic Centre.
England's beach volleyball teams are in good form ahead of the Games too, bagging 3 gold medals in recent competitions. Jess Grimson and Daisy Mumby made history, winning not only the first ever medal, but were top of the podium at the Nevsa Beach Championships in Oslo. They beat the Norwegians 2-0. And the men's tournament of more than 20 teams as well from across Europe saw Javier and Joaquim, the Bello brothers, also win gold. They triumphed in the Spanish beach volleyball tour as well, beating Spain in the final.
9 years after last winning, Mark Cavendish warmed up for the Commonwealth Games with victory in the men's road race at the National Championships in Scotland. The 37-year-old, who's not been selected to ride in this year's Tour de France, will be pulling on his Kukri kit for Birmingham 2022, but not for Team England, of course. He'll be racing for the Isle of Man. And I've nearly got through a podcast and not mentioned Keely Hodgkinson. The Olympic silver medalist set to start at the Commonwealths this summer in Birmingham. She came second in the last Diamond League meeting before the World Athletics Championships in a couple of weeks. Tougher race for her this time, but she managed to force her way through the bunch group of athletes.
And talking of tough, what a response from Dina Asher-Smith after defeat at the British Championships last weekend in Manchester that, Michael, you were there at and saw. The reigning 200-metre world champion won the Diamond League in Stockholm, leading from the gun and holding on for victory by 0.003 of a second. A brilliant result too for British champion and Team England's Lorraine Ugan, jumping 681 metres to win the long jump competition. And we do have an athletics special coming up in Brum's the Word as we count down to the Commonwealth Games. So it is July, it is nearly Games time. Birmingham is ready, the athletes are getting there. What about you?
I'm ready. More than ready. It's Brum's the Word from Anything But Footy, brought to you with Kukri Sports, the official kit provider for Team England. And for all your bespoke sportswear needs, go to their website. It's kukrisports.com. And remember to continue to follow us as we continue to count down to the Commonwealth Games.
Thank you for attending the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. We wish you a safe onward journey.